Good day and welcome to Rocket with Chief. My name is Daniel Robus and I'm your host. In today's episode, we are joined by the team from Logicalis and Cisco, specifically around Meraki, and the unveiling of a new offering from Logicalis, who are the architects of change around managed services for small to medium businesses.
So good morning, guys, and welcome to our Logicalis and Cisco Meraki webinar. Thank you all for joining us today as we discuss changing the way you think about your network management. We always welcome your active participation in our events, so please do use the Q&A functionality and pose any questions that you'd like answered. We will be discussing during and after the panel discussion. This is your session, so let's engage and let's answer your questions. Without further ado, I'm now going to hand over to Daniel Robus, our host and moderator for today's session.
Thank you very much, Kerry, and welcome to Claudia and Pi. It's really great to have you on the panel. As I said, we've been doing a little bit of prep. We've cheated, and I've done some homework on both companies, and I really didn't know about Logicalis, but we are going to start with the rose amongst the thorns, and I'm going to introduce Pi first. But before we even get there, you know, the introduction email which everyone received to the invite of this webinar was quite specific. It said, worried about the impact of the petrol price. Avoid unnecessary trips by enabling your business with a secure, reliable, and fast Wi-Fi solution. Do more by using technology to the maximum. So there's a saying which says you should do something every day that scares you. Yesterday, I filled up my tank, and today I'm trying not to look at the Eskom push notifications about where we are. I'm just going to live on the edge. And that's where we are from a South African perspective. And the market that we're talking to today, the real breadbasket of the economy, small to medium businesses are dealing with these kind of challenges every single moment, keeping our doors open in the dark, out of the dark. And if you're not in the digital space, you're not in business. And that's what this team has come around to me and said, Daniel, we keep the doors open. So let's dive into who we've got talking to us and why we should be listening to them. And first, we'll start with Paya. Thanks for giving us some time. Your title is Business Development Manager. What does that mean?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks for the question, Dan. Essentially, I am responsible for looking after service providers and partners within South Africa, as well as the African opcos, rolling out managed services, bundling our solutions, and essentially enabling our partners to enable their end customers to reach their business outcomes. So everything that starts and ends with the partner essentially sits with me from a Meraki perspective.
So you're the conduit for getting these new solutions out there. You work for Cisco, but you've got a Meraki bent. Is that correct?
Yes, 100%. So Meraki is our cloud networking division of Cisco, and I fall within that business unit.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, cool. So we're going to dive into that, because when you talk Cisco to me, I think about places where Daniel should never go. You know, it's kind of in the back room, and you're pulling wires together and you make magic happens, which enables applications. Is that kind of right where we are? You're going to show us something on that later.
I'm going to show you the complete opposite of that, which is cloud networking, which
Awesome.
Takes away all of the pain of having those cables and people on site. So very exciting business unit to be working for within Cisco.
Stunning. And why did you get into assisting service providers and partner development? Why was that a particular career choice for you?
So I essentially started my career within the ISP and SP space. So I've always been passionate about enabling customers to fulfill their business outcomes. Now I just have the best of both worlds. I'm able to, assist partners in enabling their end customers reach their business outcomes with our cloud managed solutions.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Claudia Busaka, you're part of Logicalis sales engine. You've been there for a while. What's the support structure like from such a big company? I mean, I joked earlier, I had to go and do some homework. You guys need marketing, dude. We need to know who you are. How big is
Thanks.
Logicalis around the world?
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, look, so Logicalis, most people only hear about it in South Africa or within whichever country that you're in. Logicalis is over a few countries worldwide. We're in the United States, England. We've got offices in Ireland, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Australia. So massive global company. We're part of the data tech group. And even when I joined Logicalis, I thought also there was just the South African portion of it. And joining this company, getting to know everyone that sits worldwide in this company and having access to many different people from many different cultures is actually, it's really, really amazing to work with these different people.
It must be quite intimidating once you got to open the curtains and seen just how big it is. I think it's 27 countries, but you still get the support in South Africa and you still get access to everybody when you need them. We've seen that in the preparation here. Totally off piste. Before we talk about Logicalis, you're a F1 fan. Are you going to attend the South African F1 if they get it?
Yeah, massive F1 fan. And I think I actually made a joke with my friends. A very, very close friend of mine's parents actually live in Dubai. And she's now paid for plane tickets to go to Dubai to watch the Formula One at the end of the year. And I made a joke with her saying that my Uber to Kyalami is going to be a lot cheaper than a plane ticket to Dubai now that it's been announced. But I'm extremely excited. Really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great for South Africa. It's going to be great for the economy. And great for the fans. I mean, first time back in 30 years back in SA.
Yeah.
So really, really
I'm
excited for that.
too. What one thing is unique about Logicalis culture that we wouldn't know unless we worked there?
I think it comes down to everyone is so friendly and helpful. In a lot of companies, even companies I've worked for in the past, I think people get too scared almost to ask for help, or too scared to reach out. And I think even if it's not in someone's direct line of work, or even if someone has pretty much nothing to do with what function you're asking them to help with, everyone is just really, really friendly and really, really always hoping, trying to give a helping hand, trying to help and even go above and beyond what was asked of them. You ask one small thing and you get 10 massive things in return. I think that just helps. It's, that culture of helping and giving is actually, I think, what helps grow the business to what it is today.
I'm glad. That sounds awesome. So you are responsible for the SME market and for managed services. We're going to talk around a lot today. You speak passionately about this market. Why has it gripped you so tightly?
Yeah, look, and I've always been involved in the SMB market within my previous job and this current job. Now I have access to pretty much both the enterprise network and the SMB network. But since I was young, I've always been a fan of understanding the IT networks and understanding the different market segments, right? And it's basically just about understanding the bigger picture of your IT infrastructure. There's a huge focus on the SMB market at the moment. I think it's growing at an extremely fast pace. Especially in South Africa, guys try and support the SMB markets rather than the big enterprises or the big, massive global entities. And I think that the fast pace that this SMB market is growing at, it just shows the passion that the SMB business owners have. And the guys are willing to do whatever it takes to make their SMB, their small medium business a success. The guys are investing straight back into it, and also again, it's just about supporting your small medium businesses. So this small medium business market, I think the passion that I see from especially the business owners and the guys that work for it is, I think it's second to none.
That's nice. So we are aiming this discussion at them. Who would you be speaking to? Give me a role or a title that we should be talking to today.
Yeah, so look, and I think this, I mean, especially within the small medium business, you're not going to have your CIO, COO, CFO, CCO. You're not going to have all of those roles. So someone that's in a really high up role within an SMB customer, an owner, a co-owner, even someone that started the business, a franchisee, franchisor, someone that has this company, there's not massive amounts, hundreds and hundreds of staff members, but someone that has a controllable amount of staff, they know their staff name by name within their business. They don't really have a dedicated IT support staff or a dedicated team that sits and makes sure that network's running day in and day out. But more someone that is running out of an office. They've got 1 or 2, maybe even 3 office spaces across the country, looking to grow their business, especially.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. And then Pi, how did you fit into this? What is your role about this unraveling we're going to do today on Claudia's offering? What was your direct involvement in that, in your organization?
So I think quite key in my role is, as I mentioned previously, is to enable our partners, to enable their end customers to reach their business outcomes. I think that's quite key, specifically within the SMB market. As Claudia has mentioned, we find that most of the SMB companies don't necessarily have the support structure or the dedicated IT teams to assist. So everything to do with taking this launch to market, bundling the correct products for the SMB space, and hopefully, assisting these end customers with their business outcomes.
So we're looking at the people that are offering, say, retail services. They need to get the doors need to be open, but they can't rely on having this huge megalopolis IT team to look after it. So they've still got to worry about that. We want to take that worry away. These unique challenges faced by this market, what do you think the difference is from an enterprise? I've got 200 stores versus this kind of market where I've got 10 stores. What are the unique challenges that you are seeing that these folks are dealing with, Claudia, that these business folk are dealing with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, especially, and like you mentioned, you've got a massive enterprise organization or massive enterprise customer, which then looks at how are we going to link our 100 sites countrywide? How are we going to make sure that the whole store is on a massive ERP system? We've got thousands of employees. They have a massive dedicated IT team. And especially, it at the end of the day comes back down to budgeting. And I think having those massive enterprise customers, you've got a massive budget for an IT team and a massive IT infrastructure. It's different with the SMB market. You can't afford to have employed a whole dedicated team just to make sure your network connectivity is up and running every day. And I
so
think
you've got one guy who's looking after the network, the application, the point of sale, the email survey. You've got this one poor frazzled oak who's never been on leave in his life or her life, and she's looking after that. And then if you overlay your survey that you guys did, Cisco, Meraki, and Logicalis did, that improved security was the biggest risk that these business owners were dealing with. This threat of cybersecurity, is that a real threat, or is that just made up for the survey?
Absolutely. And I mean, I'll actually just bring up the slide right away. So this was just some of the results that we received. So, as you can see, a combined communications, networking, security, and internet provided as a managed services, right? So delivering on the SMB priorities. So improved security, 59% of the results. And I mean, this was a Cisco survey of 500 SMB IT decision makers at companies with 20 to 500 employees, done in January 2020.
So it's right in our space, eh?
Exactly what we're trying to target.
Yeah,
100%. This is exactly what we're trying to target. So SMBs say that they would opt to purchase integrated solutions as a managed service for the following reasons. Number one, at 59% is improved security. And I mean, your SMB customers will have, some of them, depending what market they're in, if they're in retail, if they're in selling housing, anything, even small law firms, they have a lot of customer data that they need to protect. They have a lot of their own, maybe their own secret recipes that they're using to compete against their competitors. They need to have a secure network that's up and running. And I mean, to have a dedicated team to make sure that that's secure 24/7 costs a lot of money.
Sure. Those threat actors, I mean, we were doing something in October of Security Month, and it's $1 million a minute we're looking at globally losing. So security is constantly changing, and in order to improve your security, it's got to be a full-time thing. So we're almost dedicating a salary to that, or we're exposed Wow, that's a big thing. I really like what you're seeing in here, and better pricing is only coming in at third. Do you think that's a South African reality as well, or do you think pricing goes up in priority?
Look, it's one of those things, and it's one of the things we struggled with, especially when trying to launch this. And especially in South Africa, I think South Africans as a whole love the word free. Um, we love anything that comes free, and I think a lot of what people's and then this talks in, if you look at the top three, for example, so your improved security, your better quality of service, and your better pricing. If you look at three, a lot of service providers within South Africa will say, here's your internet connection, and here's a free router or a free Wi-Fi access point for your business. And that's where it stops. That quality of service stops there. If you have something that goes on, yes, you have your connectivity and you have your wireless, but it pretty much stops there. We're willing to help that with a better pricing model, with better quality of service, with improved managed services, and then you got the security component that comes with Cisco Meraki.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get into that. I don't want to go too
Absolutely.
quickly through that. Pi, the secure network with a reliable Wi-Fi, can it really impact the cost of petrol, or was that just my creativity to get people to our talk?
I love that you've asked that question, because I actually filled up this week, and I had to almost look twice at the petrol pump to make sure that I wasn't being overcharged. Apparently I wasn't. So quite simply 100%, right? I think the times that we faced over COVID, and everybody's heard this quite often with all of these webinars, but it really is a way in which we can enable people to work from anywhere, right? Not just a work from home solution, but essentially work from anywhere. We're quite fortunate to have a hybrid model globally, so it didn't really matter whether you were on holiday or working from your home country, if you were an expat. So I think it's quite key to have staff enabled to be able to work from anywhere and to be more productive, regardless of whether they're in the office or not.
That's a great segue in. We've got two questions that have come in the Q&A, and for our attendees, wherever you are, please feel free to use the Q&A. We've got two experts with us. They love to answer questions. Look at Pi, she's just waiting to answer your question. Please keep them coming through. I've got one from Emma, who says she wants to adopt a hybrid working world, but we're really concerned about security risks. What security benefits does your connection have? So that's quite a technical question. I don't know, Pi, is that for you? Is that for our friend who seems to have disappeared, Claudia?
No, all good. Happy to answer that. Thank you for the question, Emma. I think what's quite key with the Meraki solution is we don't just provide an SD-WAN solution. We provide a fully fledged security appliance with all of the security functionality, enabling you to not only do SD-WAN, so it's not just an SD-WAN box, but a fully fledged firewall built into one, which gives you obviously the security functionality, but also saves you money because you're not purchasing a separate firewall to, a separate SD-WAN device. So I think from a security perspective, quite key, as you know, Cisco is top of the Gartner quadrant from a security perspective. So we make sure that all of our solutions are very secure.
So that almost answers the second one. Carvin Kolani has asked, he runs a promotional company and would like to know how to improve their client's security, customer security database. I think if you've got it behind a firewall in a secure environment, just like you've answered it, and keeping it in one unit so that your attack surface is all contained, you can look after it quite well, hey?
100%. And, with Meraki, our motto is simplify everything, right? So specifically to the SMB business, you don't need to be a CCIE or a Cisco boffin and employ these solutions and proactively monitor your networks. It is quite simple to deploy.
Oh, that's brilliant. That simplify and a simple deployment must be helping Claudio in our big release, which is coming. We're not jumping the gun. So Claudio, we've got security, we've got price, we've got complexity of solution. these challenges all impact people like Nataba Singh and myself as a small business owner, and the small retailers. Are these people still seeing IT as an enabler?
No, I couldn't agree more. And I think, especially within our segment, IT is continually growing. It has not stopped growing ever since it was invented. I really think customers need to focus a lot on their IT. It enables their workspace, it enables their customers, it enables their staff, it enables even feedback around their customers. So especially with Meraki Managed Services, there's so many different types of benefits that you get, and we'll look into that a little bit later with some of the scenarios that we'll run through. But especially within the IT, having your IT cared for in your business by a professional, set up safely, set up securely, it allows you to focus more on running your business, while we focus on your business being safe, secure, and connected.
Okay, well, that's another great segue. We're going to get into what we are launching and why we've gathered everyone. I know you're all excited about it. I am. But I've just had a great question in which I want to. Taba Singh has asked a question. Being a startup, our company can't currently afford to offer both company-owned and guest Wi-Fi. Is it wise to allow customers access to our business Wi-Fi, or do we just say, "Tsak, use your phone"? Don't use my Wi-Fi. It's my data. What do you think?
Yeah.
Who's going to take that for me?
So I'll take that question, and I think, thank you very much, Ntabi Singh, for the question. Short answer, no. Not wise to allow your guests on your business Wi-Fi. And again, we're going to go into it a little bit later when we look at the packages and we look at what is included when we talk managed services from Logicalis. What is included in that? And part of the security is having those two separate Wi-Fi. So having a business SSID and a guest SSID, keeping your guests secure and only access to certain amount of, and that's what's nice when Pi will pick up on it later on the dashboard, the Meraki dashboard, and how everything's run. But having those two separate and allowing certain individuals allowed to connect to certain parts of your network, and that's all about controlling within your guest Wi-Fi, and how that is different to your businesses.
The long and the short answer to Ntaba Singh is, if you are a startup, rather explain to them that you're a startup and you've got to keep your network secure for your customers. Don't let them in. And rather find a provider who can make it affordable for you to have the two separate segregated networks.
Absolutely.
I've got it. Okay, and Taba Singh, I hope that answers for you. You don't let some strange man into your bedroom. Don't let them in there. You got to know who they are, and it's all about identity management. So why did?
Yeah, so I think we're going to add again. But as we carry on with the webinar a little bit later, we'll add on.
Let's get into it. Don't tell them what we're going to tell them. Let's tell them. What are you launching? Why have you gathered us here, Claudia? Why have you taken Pi away from her exciting creative job, and why are you giving us this time?
Thanks, Daniel. So guys, we're launching a Meraki Managed Services. So we've got 3 packages that we're launching together from Logicalis South Africa, together with Cisco Meraki. And in short, these 3 packages are a smart Wi-Fi solution, a business in a box solution, and a security SD-WAN solution. So these 3, basically what you're getting is you're paying a monthly subscription. So you're not worried about your CapEx expenditure. It becomes an operating expenditure. Pay Logicalis a monthly fee. You get, on the smart Wi-Fi package, you're getting 3 access points with 3-year licensing, full 24/7 managed services monitoring from Logicalis South Africa for your business. The IT function gets completely taken over by Logicalis. There's no need to worry about setting it up. There's no need for you to worry about troubleshooting around having anybody in your business look after those packages. And all the managed services is covered by Logicalis. If we look at the security SD-WAN package, there we're utilizing a Meraki MX security appliance with a 3-year security license. again, looking completely to take over that security function, keeping your business completely secure, away from threats. There's advanced malware protection from Cisco, all these fancy security terms that probably most people won't understand. But again, your business is just keeping safe and secure. And then the last package would be your business in a box, which I would say essentially is a combination between the two, giving you access to a Meraki security appliance, as well as your Meraki access points, to combine the beauty of Meraki security and the access points. And again, guys, this is all controlled on a cloud network. There's a massive Meraki dashboard where everything's controlled, and we take over that IT function, so that it becomes a worry, that something that you don't have to worry about. And again, you can focus on actually your day-to-day running of your business, your day-to-day tasks, and expanding your business. And as we mentioned earlier, you have these massive enterprise companies that have dedicated IT support staff and dedicated teams, and you guys don't have to worry about this IT function.
So essentially what you're doing is, if I'm looking around my house right now and trying to think of an analogy, not the Wi-Fi that I'm using, but the lights that are on here, you'll make sure that my house is ready to move in and the lights are on at all times. I don't have to worry about changing bulbs. I don't have to worry. I just turn off and on, and I go and I can work wherever I want to.
Absolutely. So everything's monitored by us.
So managed services in this context is the only thing the customer then has to bring is their desktop or their laptops and the applications. You've got everything else for them.
Absolutely. And this is, again, where I talk to the wonderful question from Tabi, saying thank you again very much. So this is what our managed services will include, right? Setting up of a business SSID and a guest SSID. We're allowed to do that.
What is an SSID?
So SSID will basically be your network connectivity for your
okay. Pi, have I lost Claudia? I lost you there. I asked you a tough question. Sorry about that, man. Okay, are you back there, Claudia?
Can you hear me, Daniel?
I can.
Perfect. So sorry about that. So your business SSID essentially is just the name of the network and the two separate networks that you'll have at your business. So having a business network and a guest network.
Pi, are you there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think talk about the struggles of load shedding and working from anywhere, right?
I'm telling you.
I'll take that, Dan. Essentially, awesome. To Ntabi Singh's point, we essentially always want to have two separate networks running from a wireless perspective. That's for a host of reasons, but mainly a security function, right? We don't want to have outsiders joining our business Wi-Fi and having access to critical data, etc. And with the Meraki solution, what we're actually able to do, which is quite a good selling point, is rate limiting users, specifically on our guest Wi-Fi. What this means for the end customer is, there's always Bob in the corner that's watching YouTube videos, right, all the time. And we can't get sales reports in, or we can't get commission sheets in because the Wi-Fi is slow, the connectivity is slow, etc. What we're able to do with this Meraki Wi-Fi solution is actually rate limit Bob. So on a 100 meg line, we give Bob 5 megs, and Bob can only function at 5 megs. Great use case for schools, right? We also don't want kids on laptops and tablets using the internet for videos or whatever, Coco Melon, etc. We want them to be focused on the curriculum. So a very cool way in which we can rate limit users. And you can do this from a business perspective as well within your business SSID, right? So you want your CEO, when they come down from Cape Town, to have the best possible Wi-Fi experience as the IT manager. So we rate limit everybody else for that week. And it looks like you're doing a great job as an IT manager, which you are. But essentially, in this case, Logicalis will be managing that for you. So a win-win really from a business perspective, and essentially enabling your employees and users to have a great user experience.
Brilliant. It's probably worthwhile having a look at the actual nuts and bolts of the offering, Pi. And you've spoken about a single pane of glass the whole time. That's essentially what Claudio's team's going to use to manage my business. Is that really complicated? I mean, am I at risk that he's going to overcomplicate my business and I'm never going to be able to understand what's going on if I take this, or is it quite a simple setup?
Awesome. Great question, Daniel. Claudio, if you don't mind pulling up slide number 9, that'd be great, just so everybody can see our entire portfolio. But as mentioned, our motto and our aim as Meraki is to simplify everything. And how we do this is through our Meraki dashboard. And it's the power of the platform that really make our solutions, world-class. We are currently the only technology in the world that offers a full stack end-to-end approach. What I mean by that is we do everything from your wireless LAN, your switching, your security, SD-WAN, smart cameras, IoT devices, mobile device management. So literally everything end-to-end from a business perspective, you can find with Meraki. Now, why is this important for you as a small business, right? We find that a lot of IT managers or small businesses are trying to manage multiple different technologies. And what do we end up doing? We end up spending more money to go and buy software to enable us to manage these multiple technologies. With us, we are a full stack, right? So anything that you require from a networking perspective, Logicalis has bundled for you to make that consumable and to make it as easily consumable as possible for you as an end customer.
Awesome. So it looks like it's pretty comprehensive that you're giving to Claudio. So it must be really expensive. How can we afford it and still pay this petrol that you speak of, Claudio?
So Daniel, this is the awesome thing and why we've brought this as a managed service. Small, medium businesses don't have that massive capital expenditure, right? And we've taken this model and put it on a monthly expenditure so that it's now coming off your operating expenses. You only have to worry about it every month. We've utilized our backbone of managed services, taken that with the awesome use of the Meraki platform, which Pi is just, so thank you very much for explaining all of that, Pi. We've taken the use of the Meraki platform together with us and put it as a monthly expense. So you don't actually worry. And utilizing our Logicalis financing house, we then utilize the cost over 3 years with a 3-year license, which makes that monthly cost really, really affordable.
Wow. Okay. So we can then look at the one that best suits us. I can upgrade if I go in a little bit conservative, or am I stuck in that for that entire time?
No, absolutely. So we've got a lot of add-ons on the packages. So, as much as everyone would think that the packages are standard or are secure on one type of level, depending on your business, depending how big your business is, if you've got lots of employees, or maybe you have lots of customers coming in every day, we can definitely upgrade, add additional access points. If we need more security appliances, we can increase the amount of security appliances to your business. And I think the one thing that no one really thinks about, or maybe not thinks about, but goes straight over their head, is bring your own device. So you've got someone that comes into the office. You've set up your access points to connect to 20 people because you've got 20 employees. And you forget the fact that I'm coming into the office. I'm bringing my phone, my work laptop. I've got an iPad that I need to download series for when there's load shedding. I've got a watch that I need to connect to the internet so I get my discovery points. I've got a Kindle so that I can read when I'm at the beach on holiday. And there's already 6 devices that I'm connecting as one person to the network. So if you maybe a customer with a lot of bring your own device and you've got a lot of employees that work on multiple devices day in and day out, you're going to need to increase the amounts of capacity and increase those access points. And again, we're monitoring the devices. So as we add devices on, you're not getting your monthly expenditure is not getting that much more expensive because we're monitoring you on that single pane of glass, thanks to Meraki.
Brilliant. You spoke in the preparation. So for all the audience members, I'm a bit slower than most. So Claudio spoke about 3 different scenarios just so I could understand them. And we spoke about Grace, George, and Jane. Can you talk me through the practicalities of what problems you are solving? So, you know, we've got, I want to hear real business here. What scenarios,
Absolutely.
when should people come to you?
Absolutely. Thanks, Daniel. So if we can talk about, you mentioned now, so Grace. So we have Grace in scenario 1. So Grace's desk is, imagine, in the very far corner of the office. Her webcam keeps stopping, keeps cutting out during conference calls. Her calls keep dropping. She's blurry. So she doesn't get enough coverage from her Wi-Fi network. So the solution to that would be the Logicalis smart Wi-Fi. So this enables Grace to have a smart, crisp sound network, all her video conference meetings she's connected to, while keeping the rest of the business connected, and also thriving at a high performance. So she's not having to move from her desk to go sit in the conference room or go sit next to the CEO's office, but wherever she is in the corner of her offices, she's getting her beautiful crisp connection and staying available for all of these meetings with her video up. I mean, a lot of people are working from home, a lot of people are at the offices, so we rely a lot on video meetings. So having that smart Wi-Fi enables her to have coverage across the whole office. So if she's in the corner, if she's in the boardroom, even if she's in the kitchen, she's completely covered and getting that fast and secure network.
Excellent. That makes a lot of sense. And then the second type of person you would look for?
So second scenario would be someone like George. So we've called George for scenario 2. George works from the office and he connects to the corporate Wi-Fi. But George also receives a lot of emails saying he's won R1 million in the lotto and all he needs to do is give in his login details and he's won this in this competition. So he's constantly getting
I've had that,
click.
but it's usually about making extensions to my anatomy. I don't know why, but I get those ones all the time.
I think we all get different emails. I mean, I must say I'm on the lotto receiving emails. So, but you know, George gets these emails and sometimes he believes them. He thinks he's won. So now he's constantly introducing viruses into the network. By
phishing. He's phishing.
Exactly.
He's phishing.
As you click accept, as you open up different documents, you just adding all of these viruses in. So with the Logicalis smart Wi-Fi and the smart SD-WAN solution, you stay protected and connected against the latest cyber threats. You know, utilizing that Meraki security appliance. So we said earlier it's the Meraki MX appliance. Utilizing that appliance, you're making sure that the latest viruses don't crash your network. And you're keeping up to date with the latest threats, even the latest advanced
but
threats.
I don't have to worry about that. Claudio's
None of
team
that's
is
worried
worry
about that.
that.
Logicalis has got all of that covered on the dashboard. Everything's up to date, and we've constantly updating the threats, and that's filtering through your network via the cloud.
And are you giving me any reporting in to show me that I've got an idiot user that's, not that any of our guests are, but I'm talking about myself, yeah? Clicking on those phishing links?
Absolutely. So if we look, and earlier I was sharing the slide of you know what the managed services would include. So you're getting availability, monitoring and response. You're getting automated monthly usage reporting. You've got a service desk function, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You've got 24/7 fault reporting, which means 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can report faults. And then you've got reactive support. So once a threat's picked up within your network, our team is working immediately to try and get rid of that threat.
Awesome. So, Pi, you've been quiet for a bit. Here's a tough question. Why do you think Logicalis selected Meraki as the backbone for this managed service offering? What makes you so special? Oh, I've lost Pi. You see, you ask a tough question and they disappear. It's why do you want to answer that, Claudio? Why did you select Pi? And then I've got while we wait for Pi to come back, I've got a question from the floor which says, what happens after 3 years? Is the device obsolete, paid up? Do the clients get it? I mean, how does that work?
Absolutely. So the beautiful thing about the Meraki licensing model is we have access to a function that they call plug and play, where essentially you can take that device out the box, plug it in, and use it. And then once you have one device, you have one license. The licensing model is extremely easy to understand. It comes with a full return process. So if anything goes wrong with the device, we can handle the return. We'll come collect it from you. Within a week, we'll return it and give you a brand new device. So those devices have a long lifespan, not just only 3 years. We've done the 3-year because of the licensing model, right? So with
Okay.
your licensing on Meraki, you have options of a 1-year, 3-year, or 5-year license. So we can take the 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, the device is fully paid up. So if you would like to continue that for the following 3 years, it only becomes a cost of your license, which is
Okay.
very small portion compared to the hardware, and then the managed services cost from Logicalis. The device's
Okay.
reliability and use is amazing. They've got full lifetime warranty. So as long as you've got that license, even if you extend it over 3 years and another 3 years, and you're still paying for that license, if something has to go wrong with that switch, Meraki will replace it free of charge.
Oh, amazing. So what we do is we don't worry about upgrades. That's your issue. We don't worry about changing the system. That's your issue. We don't.
Absolutely.
All we've got to do is keep our contract going, and we'll be covered.
Absolutely.
So
And I mean,
where does the business get it? Where does the business get involved in? It's from the application layer up.
yeah,
So I
essentially.
must
So
look after my call center. I must look after my business application, my invoicing, my general ledger, those sorts of things. The rest you saying you're going to take care of.
yes. So
Wow.
your day-to-day business functions keep going as normal, but now you don't have to have the worry of someone monitoring that IT network for you. We'll make sure we have full connectivity. And the beautiful thing about the Meraki dashboard is, from our network operations center and our security operations center, which we have in Sandton, in our Joburg office, where we have a dedicated support team monitoring this Meraki platform. That single pane of glass allows us to see the health of your appliances. It allows us to see who's connected at what time, the device name, their IP address. We can get all that information, and we can monitor who's connected, why they're connected, how long have they been connected for, and you just worry
Wow.
about your business function. If we see a
So
switch's health is declining, we can, or access points health is declining, or your security appliance, we can actually pick up why that health is declining and do cloud-based troubleshooting to try and figure out how we can improve that for the future.
Excellent. So I can see Pi, you back with us. Why? I want to change the way I ask this. Is how did you sell to Claudia that he should build his business on Meraki's backbone? How did you win this deal?
Thanks, Dan. Claudio, if you don't mind bringing up slide 10, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
I think what's quite key with our platform, thanks so much, Claudio. What's quite key with our platform is being able to proactively monitor end customer networks from wherever you sit, right? So if I put that into context for our SMMEs on call, essentially you could sit anywhere in the world and still be a view of what your network looks like, whether you had 2 sites or 200 sites. And I think that is quite key in terms of zero-touch provisioning. And what we offer, and again, to put this into perspective for you, what we're offering from a cloud managed network perspective is for you as a small business owner to be able to purchase a service like we do with Netflix, and we don't really care where that data is sitting in the background, etc. We just essentially want to log in and watch our series. This is exactly what Logicalis provides to you as the end customer, right? Regardless of how many sites you have, you can have those sites up and running within a matter of hours or in a matter of minutes. And the reason we're able to do this, to Daniel's earlier question around, Cisco in a dark room and lots of cables, we actually provide the complete opposite, right? So what do we mean by zero-touch provisioning? We mean that once you purchase these devices, those devices can be provisioned to be up and running on your network, so that once it gets to your site, again, you don't need to be a CCIE or IT boffin. All you need to do is get, give this device power, ET call home, it downloads its configurations, which Logicalis will do on your behalf. And essentially, you've got a fully fledged network, right? And to put that into perspective for you, We were able to get 150 libraries in the Eastern Cape up and running in 2.5 hours. Now, if you look at a traditional way of getting that business up and running, or those sites up and running, that would simply traditionally mean that you sent an engineer to every single one of those sites to go and plug devices in. We are able to simplify that process through templates. We don't have any pre-staging or on-site configuration. All of that is done in the cloud. So that when we ship those devices to you, essentially you give that device power and you have a fully fledged network. So very much an unbox and plug in type of solution, which I think is quite key for the SME market, because again, you don't want to be spending money on dedicated IT teams in order to do this for you. Take it back to the Netflix scenario. You want to pay a monthly fee and just be able to watch whatever series you want to watch. In your case, run your business and meet those business outcomes.
Wow, I really like that. The whole thing that I'm seeing here is ease of use, so I don't have to worry about another complex layer above my business. I can focus on business. If we put this partnership together, Logicalis, who's looking after the managed services, Meraki, who's the technology backbone, how do customers who are really skeptical know that they can trust this partnership? This is not a fly-by-night where you guys have got together just because Claudio looked vulnerable and Pi took advantage. Where is this partnership going?
Thanks,
I guess
Daniel.
that's for you. Yeah, Claudio.
Yeah, no, thanks. So one thing that we want to make mention of is, Meraki was a company that actually started on its own, and Cisco Systems happened to buy Meraki out, and now Meraki is its own brand within the Cisco portfolio. And Logicalis actually has a global gold partnership with Cisco. And we have skills and partnerships all around the world. We mentioned earlier about our global footprint with our 27 offices worldwide in 27 countries. And that global gold partnership gives us access to resources, engineers, everything worldwide with the best and absolutely needed engineering skills and techniques and possibilities that we can just enable these customers and help them.
Awesome. If you had a billboard with the top 3 reasons to consider your managed services, what would you have over the N1 busy billboard? What would your top 3 reasons be? Why should people come to you, Claudia?
Absolutely. I already mentioned one of them would be the global gold partnership with Cisco. I think that's a feat that not a lot of people have. Second would be our network operating center and security operating center that works 24/7, 365 for the customer's benefit. And then again, our follow the sun support staff. So Meraki utilizes follow the sun, which, if you can imagine, is a 24/7, 365 support desk with network and data centers around the world that there's no downtime with support. So that means we just have absolutely every way of keeping our customers completely connected and focused on themselves running their businesses while we worry about the rest.
Awesome. I like that. And if you had to give us your throw at this pie, what do you think that you would be speaking to an owner of a business to saying, come in here?
So I've got one, and it's a powerful one, and it would have a hashtag, and it would say, once you go full stack, you don't go back, because essentially you have an access point and a switch and a firewall and an IoT device and a security camera. There really isn't another technology that can compete from a full stack perspective.
Absolutely.
Of course, they're all great in their own right from a Wi-Fi perspective or a SASE perspective or an SD-WAN perspective. But when we look at everything holistically, powered by the Meraki platform, you really won't go back once you go full stack. So that would be my slogan, and we should actually take that up with a Meraki.
You should patent that. You should patent that. I think you should keep it. I've got a really cool question from Roger, who says, another question is cross-border inclusion, say South Africa to Botswana. How does the device accommodate cross-border? It's a really good question. Thanks, Roger.
Absolutely.
Claudia, go.
Yeah, so look, I don't think there's any limitation to the Meraki appliances. I think that, and I mean, you asked Pi earlier, why did we partner with them? Meraki is such an easy to use and amazing appliance. Going cross border, we've done deployments with customers through Angola, through Nigeria, Ghana, Mozambique. These devices have no, and they utilized. I mean, Pi made mention earlier that they did 150 libraries in the Eastern Cape. I know that's not cross border, but I mean, to get all of those libraries to talk to each other and to work with central data centers, these Meraki appliances, it's easy as that zero touch deployment that Pi mentioned. It's about taking it out of the box, making sure it's connected, and you have access to your single pane of glass Meraki dashboard.
Stunning. Awesome. Pi, you wanted to add to that as well. So geographic lines, if we've got connectivity, it makes no difference to you, hey?
Absolutely. So as long as that device has some power and you've got some form of connectivity in whichever country you're at, as I mentioned earlier, as a business owner, you may have branches in different countries. You are still able to manage, view, everything on a sort of virtually stacked approach. So you can literally, as an IT manager, as an example, go and click on the South African office, filter down to Cape Town, and understand why Susie on the 5th floor of the Cape Town office is having Wi-Fi issues, right? And is that problem between, the switch and the firewall, the switch and the AP? Is it a connectivity issue? And I think the really cool thing about our SD-WAN solution is the end customer doesn't know when that service is down, because it simply just switches on to the better performing link between the two. So if you had, a fiber and a microwave secondary link, if your microwave link is performing better because everyone in finance at your end is using that fiber link, it simply automatically just switches over without the end user, being affected. So it really didn't matter where in the world you sat. We were able to connect you and extend that network for you.
And it's such an important point that, let me just get his name again, that Roger brings up, is that small business doesn't mean small geography, a small footprint. It just means that we don't have the trapping of the big businesses. So we're agile, we're out there, we're making money. This launch is now happening, Claudia. There's no going back. You and Pi have pinned your colors to the mast. What is happening over the next 12 weeks? What does it look like? Are there any major milestones we should be aware of? I know there's a big team in the background. We've got Michelle and Tara, and they're all doing all sorts of things. What's happening?
So, thanks a lot, Daniel. And I mean, it's really, really exciting for us. It's been lots of hard work. We've been trying to get this going for a long time. So the next 12 weeks, if I thought these last few weeks were busy, the next 12 are going to be even more busier. We're planning an online launch event for the customers where we can actually utilize the Meraki dashboard, give some demos. We'll have Meraki subject matter experts there. We'll have our engineers there. And eventually, initially, this was supposed to be an online event. And I think now that things are opening up, we might be able to do an in-person event, or maybe even two, one in Cape Town and one in Joburg, just to get access to customers to see the power of that Meraki dashboard live and in person, and see how we can actually monitor these things. So within the next 12 months, we're going to focus on that launch event with all the customers, and then also securing stock. Making sure that we have enough stock to launch this event and make sure that we can supply our customers without a shadow of a doubt.
Speaking as a salesman, may you run out of stock. Come on, man. May they be beating down the doors. Paya, you don't work with Claudio. You're in your own entity. And this is a constant change innovation environment. Cisco never stands still. Are there any technical releases which are really interesting that are coming later in the year that may affect Claudio and heighten his service, or we should be aware of?
I'm so glad you asked, because there are two. One's already happened and one's been recently announced. The first one, to Emma's security question, is we actually have now released a secure access service edge, and everyone's probably heard the coined term SASE from a Gartner perspective. What that means is we've taken the building blocks of security. So cloud security through, Cisco Umbrella. We've taken SD-WAN through either Viptela or the Meraki solution, Zero Trust network access through Duo, and then our observability product through Thousand Eyes. And we've actually bundled this, instead of purchasing 4 separate licenses, again, making this simple and secure, we've actually bundled that into one SASE bundle SKU. So when you order this for your business, you would order one SASE bundle SKU, which encompasses these 4 components from a security perspective. And then I did mention something that was recently announced at Cisco Live a couple of weeks ago, and that is cloud management for Catalyst. This is going to be an absolute game changer for, any business on, whether it's small, medium, enterprise, etc. Essentially, what we've done is we've taken the best from a cloud networking world and we've merged it into the best from a networking world with Cisco. So Meraki and Cisco have merged to provide our cloud dashboard capabilities on your Catalyst switches. So that's going to be, quite a exciting thing to look forward to in the future.
Wow. Awesome. And that term SASE is becoming more and more, it's not SASSY, which is what I like to be, but it's more SASE, a new security framework that we're looking at. For all of our guests on here, it shouldn't impact you. You shouldn't learn about that. That's where Claudio should be. That's where Pi should be. And that's why you're going to be paying for the service, that they can worry about this. Claudio, where do we go and find out more about this Meraki managed service offering? And do you go out to customers as well?
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Daniel. Yeah, so guys, info@za.logicalis.com. Pop a mail there. That goes straight to our team. They'll be able to help and assist. We can post it in the chats, I think.
Yep.
And again, just on our website, reach out to us on LinkedIn, Logicalis website. There's lots of email addresses, lots of ways. And yes, we do. We'll come see to the customers. We'll come to your offices. We've got dedicated IT teams. We've got solution architects. We've got network architects. We can come on site, make sure that we can tailor make the solution for your business to help your business succeed as much as possible with the help of Logicalis and with the help of the Meraki team.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. We've got 4 minutes left. I'm going to round up with a Pi. I'm going to ask you one more question. What question did I miss? What would you have liked me to have asked you regarding the way forward or regarding the solution?
I think you've done a great job, Dan. So there isn't anything that you've actually left out. So thank you very much. What I do want to leave everybody with is, just remember the ease of use across a full stack approach. Your requirement now may be Wi-Fi, or it may just be SD-WAN. But when you look at your solution and your business holistically, have a look at the Meraki full stack approach and being able to have everything on a single pane of glass on our dashboard for Logicalis to provide you with the stats so you can see what's happening on your business, as opposed to trying to deal with multiple technologies and making them all sync and work together.
Awesome. Roger Naidu gets award for lead of the day. Thank you, Roger. Your contribution has been superb. And then remember, don't be a full stack. So don't try and build your own little house of cards. Go full stack. Once you've gone full stack, you won't go back. Claudio, what have you got for me as a wrap up? What didn't I ask that you would have liked to have touched on?
So Daniel, also again, what Pi I think said it very well. I think you've done a great job. We've covered a lot of aspects of this, and I try and keep it as easy to understand and as easy to comprehend as possible without going into the deep technicalities. Because at the end of the day, those deep technicalities is what we're here to take over and what we're here to focus on as Logicalis. Our support teams and our solutions architects are going to worry about all that deep technical stuff. That happens in the back end, the understanding and the monitoring and all the A's and B's and T's and I's of IT. And again, all you need to worry about as your business is that you guys can continue doing business as usual and actually dedicate more time to your business while we focus on keeping your IT up and running and keeping you connected, safe and securely.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, from me, good luck with the launch. It's always exciting to see people innovating. Managed services is easy to put on a logo and on a poster. It's difficult to do because it's all about experience versus expectation. And I hope that you get the two right. If you don't, I'm hoping that the customers are brave enough to tell you so that you can continue improving. So just from us on our side for facilitating this, just good luck with going forward. The next 12 weeks, remember, get going, then get good. Let's see you getting out there. And for your first customers, brilliant. Good luck for this. I hope it goes very well. Carrie, that's a wrap from me, Daniel Robus. I'm going to hand it back to you in the dark.
So thanks again, guys, for attending today.
Thank you for joining us in today's episode. If you have any questions for the team at Logicalis or at Cisco about Meraki and their offering, please click on the link below and you can get in touch with the right team members. Should you have any comments or criticisms or updates for our podcast, we appreciate your feedback. And also, if you've got any ideas of people you would like us to interview, please let us know. Have a wonderful day.